Buying a used Gulfstream G4 might seem like a bargain, but owning one? That's a whole different story. From fuel and maintenance to crew, hangar, and unexpected costs, the numbers add up fast. Today, we're breaking down the real cost of owning a Gulfstream G4 and why some jets are cheap to buy but expensive to keep. Cabin. Let's start where you'll be spending most of your time, the cabin. The Gulfstream G4's cabin isn't just spacious, it's genuinely impressive. We're looking at 45 feet and 1 inch of length, 7 feet and 4 inches of width, and 6 feet and 2 inches of height. That's enough room to walk around without hunching over like you're in some budget airline's overhead compartment. But dimensions are just this cabin can comfortably seat up to 19 passengers, though the typical configuration handles 14 to 16 people in absolute luxury. We're talking about seats that don't just recline, they transform into fully flat beds. Each seat is essentially a piece of furniture that would look at home in a high-end office or luxury living room. The cabin features large oval windows, 20 of them to be exact, each measuring 20 inches by 15 inches. These aren't your typical airplane windows that make you feel like you're peering through a porthole. They're designed to flood the interior with natural light and give you expansive views of whatever's below. The cabin also features a full galley. Not some tiny kitchenette, but a proper food preparation area with a microwave, coffee maker, and enough storage for real meals. Some configurations even include a wine chiller because, let's be honest, if you're flying private, you're probably not drinking box wine. Cockpit. Now let's talk about the business end of this aircraft, the cockpit. The G4 features what Gulfstream calls the Plain View Cockpit System, and it's genuinely impressive technology. We're looking at 4 large LCD displays that provide pilots with everything they need to know about the aircraft's performance, navigation, weather, and system status. The flight management system is so advanced, it can calculate the most fuel-efficient routes automatically, taking into account wind patterns, weather conditions, and air traffic control restrictions. This isn't just convenient, it's potentially saving thousands of dollars on every long flight through optimized fuel consumption. The cockpit is designed for a 2-pilot operation, though the G4 is certified for single-pilot operation under certain conditions. The pilot seats are fully adjustable and designed for comfort during long flights. Remember, these guys might be flying for 8 to 10 hours straight on transcontinental routes. One of the most impressive features is the Enhanced Flight Vision System, which uses infrared technology to help pilots see through weather conditions that would ground other aircraft. This system can literally see through fog, haze, and light rain, projecting a clear image of the runway and surrounding terrain directly onto the pilot's display. The autopilot system is so sophisticated, it can handle everything from takeoff to landing in ideal conditions. It's connected to a database of over 40,000 airports worldwide, complete with approach procedures and runway information. This level of automation doesn't replace pilot skill, but it significantly reduces workload and increases safety margins. Stick around until the end to see the hidden costs that could add up to more than a luxury home every single year. Costs that most people never even consider when they're dreaming about private jet ownership. Engine and performance. Under the hood, or should I say under the wings, the G4 packs some serious power. We're talking about 2 Rolls-Royce Tay 611-8 engines, each producing 13,750 pounds of thrust. These aren't just powerful, they're remarkably reliable and fuel-efficient for their class. Performance-wise, the G4 is genuinely impressive. Maximum cruising speed hits 528 miles per hour, while normal cruising speed sits at around 488 miles per hour. But speed isn't everything. Range is where the G4 really shines. This aircraft can fly 4,220 nautical miles without refueling. To put that in perspective, you can fly from New York to London with fuel to spare, or from Los Angeles to almost anywhere in Europe. The service ceiling is 45,000 feet, which puts you above most commercial traffic and weather systems. Up there, you're flying in smooth air, while the airlines are bouncing around in turbulence thousands of feet below. The cabin altitude at maximum cruising altitude is just 6,000 feet, which means you'll arrive at your destination feeling refreshed instead of dehydrated and exhausted. Takeoff performance is equally impressive. The G4 needs just 4,850 feet of runway for takeoff at maximum weight and only 3,100 feet for landing. This opens up thousands of smaller airports that the big commercial jets can't access, getting you closer to your final destination and avoiding the chaos of major hubs. Costs. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. What does this flying palace actually cost? The sticker price for a new Gulfstream G4 was around $36 million when production ended. But here's where it gets interesting. You can't actually buy a new G4 anymore because Gulfstream stopped production in 2018 to focus on newer models. That means you're shopping the pre-owned market, where prices typically range from $15 million to $25 million depending on age, condition, flight hours, and avionics upgrades. A well-maintained example with recent upgrades can easily command $22 million or more. But the purchase price is just the beginning. Annual operating costs will run you anywhere from $2 million to $3 million per year, assuming you fly about 400 hours annually. This breaks down into several major categories. Maintenance is the big one. Figure on spending $400,000 to $600,000 annually on scheduled maintenance, inspections, and repairs. These aircraft are incredibly complex machines with thousands of components that need regular attention from highly trained technicians. Insurance will cost you $150,000 to $250,000 annually, depending on your flying experience, where you're based, and how much coverage you carry. Hangar fees add another $60,000 to $120,000 per year. More if you're based at a premium location like Teterboro or Van Nuys. Crew costs are substantial if you're employing full-time pilots. 2 experienced G4 pilots will cost you $300,000 to $400,000 annually in salaries, benefits, training, and travel expenses. Many owners opt for fractional crew services or contract pilots to reduce these costs. If you prefer not to deal with ownership hassles, charter rates for a G4 typically run $6,000 to $8,000 per flight hour. For a coast-to-coast flight, you're looking at around $35,000 to $40,000 each way. Here are those hidden costs we mentioned earlier. Depreciation alone can cost you $500,000 to $1 million annually, depending on market conditions and aircraft age. Unexpected maintenance events, like an engine overhaul, can easily cost $500,000 or more. Avionics upgrades to keep up with changing regulations can run $200,000 to $500,000 every few years. Then there are the smaller costs that add up: catering, ground handling fees, overnight charges for crew, international permits, and customs fees. These can easily add $50,000 to $100,000 annually to your operating budget. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the world of ultimate luxury, a like and a subscription would mean the world. And for those who dream of flying in style, click right here to watch our video on the costs of this jet's biggest brother, the Gulfstream G700. See you in the skies.